MAM, 24, she is 21F. We were in the same college. She was not so good looking but slightly better than me. She asked me out randomly and we met. I bought her flowers on a date and started meeting her every other day. Everything was going good. I was being the nicest I've ever been. All this while she joined corporate. She was invested in me. One day after 3 weeks of seeing each other we made out, kissed for the first time, and she asked to not to give her hickeys and I gave her hickeys without my knowledge, and she asked to not to go third base, which I kinda tried to go. I totally agree, it's my mistake. After this she said she isn't sure because I was being pushy and didn't respect boundaries. Fair enough, and she also wasn't sure about relationships and wasn't ready for anything, and she is going through some shit. All these while I was nonchalant, but later I start reaching out to her, asking if we can fix, but she didn't give me clear signals. She said she wasn't ready for anything. All these while she mentioned about how her colleague Mr. A, 22M, is trying to hit on her and how good he is at everything. They are in the same group in the office. Later she started ignoring my messages, but I try to meet her once in a week at least. But then we end up making out, but still no clarity on what was going on. Every time we made out she wanted to end things with me. The next morning she usually sends a message that I'm too good for her, that I deserve better and I should leave her cause she is bad for me and hurting me. That we should end this. This left me confused. All this while I was trying to convince her to stay. But she was running away but wasn't letting me go also. Once she also told me she felt guilty hanging out with me, making out with me, which gave me hopes. She mentioned she would make out with that colleague to forget me. Thrice. We ended things. Few days after that she calls me and tells me that she isn't over me. I met her and she told me she made out with the colleague to forget me, but that made her feel worse. I was furious, but I still wanted her to. I said, you take your time and assure me, I'll take you back. My biggest mistake, but nothing worked. She still wanted to end things with me cause she is hurting me, that I'm too good for her and that I deserve better. Now she blocked me everywhere and said, you really love me, I care about you, that's why I'm cutting you off, so that you can move on. She asked me to work on my career, body health, and money. But she told me I was the one she was very close with. I'm the first guy to treat her good, and she made good memories and spent a lot of time with me. 1 month later, I'm still not over her, maybe because I'm an average looking guy and I'm not able to find someone. I don't know if I should take her a good person for cutting me off and not keeping in the loop, which is good for me. Or ick if I got dumped cause she wants to be with that guy. She mentioned she will not make out with anyone anymore and she didn't like making out with a colleague also. I'm confused. I'm furious. I'm sad. Ick, I have to let go, but these thoughts in my head keeps bothering me. 1 minute I'm sad, the next minute I'm furious. I felt like I was being punished for being a nice guy. My boyfriend, 29M, and I, 28F, have been together for nearly 7 years. We live together, have cats together, our families are intertwined, and until recently, we've had a healthy and loving relationship. We've had a lot of peace in our relationship lately, and earlier this year, we started to talk about getting engaged. Everything changed in the spring of this year. In March, he planned and booked a boys' trip to Colombia without telling or inviting me. I felt upset and insecure, especially because one of the friends he went on this trip with is a serial cheater, and the other friend is addicted to prostitutes. But my boyfriend is an honest and loyal person, so I trusted him to act appropriately. So during the first week of May, he went to Colombia, and from May to December, we've had a long-distance relationship. Prior to May, we've never been apart from each other, so this was our first time doing long distance. The first day after he returned from Colombia, he called me and tried to break up with me over the phone. It literally came out of nowhere. He said he wanted to break up because he felt that I made all the decisions in our relationship, he had no control over his life, and he was scared of the affordability issues that came along with dating me. I have substantial student debt. He said going to Colombia made him aware of these problems because life is so much easier down there. He's never brought up these issues with me before, so I didn't even know they were problems. I fought for him to stay with me, and I promised I would be better to him and less controlling. This was the start of the worst summer I've ever had in my life. I called him every day, but he would either dodge my calls or tell me he didn't want to talk to me. He would start fights out of nowhere. He would be condescending to me over the phone. He would tell me that none of the people in his life, his family and friends, liked me or supported our relationship. He said I was paranoid, aggressive, insecure, and a bad partner, even though I don't feel I'm any of these things, and he said he doesn't feel the same way about me anymore. He's never been mean to me before, but he treated me terribly over the summer. I still loved him and wanted to work on my relationship with him. We decided to take a trip to see each other this month, November. I was on his phone and came across his messages with a girl named Alejandra. He confessed that he met a girl in Colombia, they slept together twice during his trip, and he's been in a relationship with her since May. Alejandra is 22, she has a 2-year-old daughter, and she lives in poverty. My boyfriend was sending her money throughout the summer. He was paying for Spanish lessons so he could communicate with her. They would audio and video call several times a week, and they texted each other every day. They would send each other pictures/selfies and would talk about intimate things, like their values, dreams, and their families. In addition to Alejandra, he also confessed that for the past year or so, he's been going to strip clubs and getting lap dances without telling me. All of his friends knew he was cheating and no one told me. They all blocked me on social media the day I found out about the cheating. He says he doesn't fully understand why he cheated on me. He thinks it could be lust, impulsivity, feeling like he lacked control in his life, receiving validation from another woman, having low self-esteem, and feeling unhappy, unfulfilled, or bored in our sexual and emotional relationship. Aside from the cheating, the other issue he developed is that he can't stop lying to me. He used to be such an honest and transparent person, but he told me that ever since he cheated, he's created a web of lies and he finds it easier to lie to me than to tell me the truth. When I found out about the cheating, I broke up with him, but we still talk every day. He was my best friend and I can't let go of him. He's the only person I've ever dated and he's the only person I want to be with. I wanted to marry him. We've grown up together and built a life together. He was there for me when my dad tragically passed away 3 years ago. And I'm scared that at this age, I won't find someone else I'm as compatible with or I love as deeply. I also recognize that there are problems in his life that severely affect him. He didn't receive emotional support from his parents while growing up, he was frequently bullied, he was arrested and jailed at 17, he developed a porn addiction at a very young age that still affects him today, and he's battled depression and low self-esteem the past 2 years. My boyfriend and I are still long distance, so we're living apart. He's blocked Alejandra, is now in therapy, writes in his journal daily, and promises to get rid of toxins in his life, e.g., alcohol, bad friends, etc. He claims to be remorseful, he says he's still in love with me, and he often breaks down in tears when we're on the phone. He also thinks he's not worthy of my forgiveness, he doesn't think I'll ever trust him again, and he's interested in being with other women to see if he can find someone he's more compatible with than me. I know people are going to tell me to cut him out, but it's really not that simple. He's been in my life for 7 years, he's my best friend, and he's the only person I've ever been in love with. He's still the only person I want to be with. I'm wondering whether we can bounce back from this. I know some people say, once a cheater, always a cheater, but is it possible he's a good person who's made a series of bad decisions? Is it appropriate to break up for a period of time, perhaps 1 to 2 years, then later get back together once he's proven to be honest and trustworthy again? Will the trust issues affect us for the rest of our lives, or can we grow from this and become stronger? Do people deserve second chances? How can I learn to forgive him? TLDR, my boyfriend of 7 years cheated on me physically plus emotionally and can't stop lying to me. Since I caught him cheating, he's expressed remorse and started therapy. I feel like I can't let go of him and we still talk every day. I'm wondering whether people can truly change, if trust can be rebuilt, and if my relationship has a future.